Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay and Ken. Who am I sitting with? Craftmatic.
What's up, Smooth Jay?
Man, nothing compared to you, Craft.
Excited about this new year, man.
Man, excited as all get out. Before I go any further, I got Barbara from Macon, Georgia in the building. Barbara, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, thanks. How are you doing, Jay? And Craft.
All right, she did good. She spoke up, because she had that lag time before. I thought she was in another country or
She's
something.
starting to get a stage presence.
I like that.
Yeah, I like
She
that.
getting there.
I'm tired of being fear of the mic. It's gonna go.
Oh, that's wrong. She getting that strength. Yeah, because Jay will bring it out you, because I'll talk about you so bad. I'll talk about it so bad behind the scenes.
I already know, Jay.
You know how I do.
I know how you do.
Speak slow again.
Welcome to 2018.
What?
Did you think we'd make it this far?
Man, let me tell you something. I don't know about the world. I'm just happy that we all are blessed to continue going.
I know.
But I can say that I'm already in position for the next move.
There you go.
Because again, I can't just look at the world. I got to look at myself.
There you go.
Self-empowerment.
Self-empowerment. Listen, that's what this whole show is about tonight. Folks, we're starting 2018 just fired up about this year. I feel an incredible energy. There's something new. There's some resolution and some answers that I've been searching for years that will be revealed on this year. Not only for me, but for you too. You just have to know it, right? You just have to believe it. You have to trust that the answers are going to be revealed on this year.
That's right.
And we just make ready to receive. And folks, we got an exciting show for you. Again, this is Bar Talk with Jay, and my boy Jay here put a vision together about a year and a half ago to start his own show and for it to be like a bar talk environment. So what happens in the bar is, after you have your first drink, you gotta let your hair down, right?
Yeah, you gotta let it loose, baby.
You open up and you start talking about the real, and that's what this show is about. Talking about the real, and really getting down to the source of what some of our personal problems, inner problems might be, and finding a way to create an out and to create an answer for ourselves and to overcome hurdles and old pains and old hurts. It's time for a new life, and the new life starts right now, and all you have to do is claim it. And we're going to be talking about that a lot in this show tonight. So welcome to each of you. Just a real quick recap on last week's show.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it, man. Out with the old, right?
Right, out with the old.
In with the new.
There you go.
In relationships?
Right.
So you really saying throwing them old bags and the ones you carry that them relationships wasn't gonna go nowhere
right.
To the curb?
Listen, we're not just talking about interpersonal relationships.
My bad,
we're talking about finance. We're talking about career. We're talking about your health. Your relationship with your body and your mind. Your relationship with your God. And most of those relationships need to be nurtured.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the total relationship, all relationships.
Yeah, all in any
not
kind.
just the girls.
Yeah,
not just the girls.
If it's anything or anyone outside of yourself, you have to have a relationship with it. Right?
Oh, okay.
I'm a firm believer you have to have a relationship with happiness. And if you don't have a relationship with happiness, she'll never show you who she really is. You know what I mean?
Is that like yourself? I learned to love myself. Hold on. That's how good.
I asked the Lord to keep this show clean.
Okay. Well, I just say it. Loving myself don't mean I gotta touch myself. I just say it.
So listen, what we want to do is out with the old, out with the time wasters, out with the haters. We want to go out with procrastination this year, out with laziness, out with fear, out with doubt. Like no more fear and no more doubt. Okay.
Say it again.
No more settling for less than you are really worth.
My goodness.
That means we got to increase our self-worth, and the only way to increase your self-worth is to start thinking bigger. That's the bottom line. You got to think bigger about yourself. You got to dream bigger. They always said, shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you'll still be amongst the moon, or shoot for the moon, you'll still be amongst the stars. That's super powerful, man. That means set your goals lofty and high, so that it will cause you to grind and cause you to do your best. You know what I'm saying? Like, success only comes out of a real serious and intense grind. There are no overnight successes. Most of the people that we just now see being successful, they've been on the mic, they've been doing their thing for many years. Been learning and studying and being a part of their prospective communities, but it takes hard work. So again, out with the old, in with the new, and the new has caused me to really, it's just opened my mind, man, this year. I've already read 2 books. I do audio books. I got 2 books already under my belt for 2018. My goal is 40 books this year, and 40 books should almost make me a master in anything I decide I want to be in, you know. And so I'm just getting laser focused. All of my free time is used in self-development and spent with the Lord this year. It's going to be a quiet year for me, but it's going to be explosive success. You see how I've identified mental equivalents for my life? I've already set precedent on what's to happen tomorrow, and that's what we want you to do. And again, we're going to spend a lot of time on the show on those type of subjects tonight. Let's go in on the quote, shall we, for a moment, Jay?
Yeah, let's go for it, man. You know, you're already preaching. I'm just saying, you're on one tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I'm just fired up.
I like that though, Craig.
Fired up. I'm just believing that when I speak and when I share these ideas that help people, Jay, that it's like success is just multiplying right before my eyes. It's like adding fertilizer to a garden. You know, that people are growing when they hear this stuff because they're not getting it anywhere else. They can only get it right here on Bar Talk with Jay. And so that's why I'm so fired up and so excited. But the quote for today, and I think this is a really, really great way to start the year, says, "Within you there is a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself."
Right.
There's a stillness and sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself. What is that sanctuary? What is that stillness, Jay? What would you say that is?
I mean, to me, that's my comfort zone within me. I mean, because I gotta remove myself from a lot of times my surroundings.
There you go, Jay.
And a lot of times when I'm realizing is people can pull you, tug you, and you control you.
Right.
And when you pull away, you're able to understand what they're doing.
Right.
And understand the power of what you have.
Right.
And I did not learn it until a lot later.
Yeah.
And again, it took a lot of help, and that's why we did this show, because what I think everybody should already know, no one is really teaching.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you, because one thing you do is you help a person out without even batting an eye.
Yeah.
Now see, that's not common. So to develop them to realize what they can control helps them get them to their passion, their destiny, and make them fulfilled and happy.
Yeah, and let me piggyback right there, Jay, because those are the benefits of understanding this stillness stuff, this sanctuary within inside of you.
Break it down.
And you said it just right. Sometimes you got to separate yourself. All the time, you have to separate yourself from your situation. Okay, you ever notice how sometimes people on the outside can see more about your situation than you can see on the inside? How is that?
Tunnel vision.
That's because they're away from the situation. They can see from 20, 30, 40,000 feet while you're just on the ground. They can see the lay of the land. They can see the enemy that's coming for you, and they can see your pitfalls, and they can see your shortcomings, and they can see what's really going on in the situation when they separate themselves. And so you need to separate yourselves from the world. Okay, go into a quiet space. Go into your closet. If you don't do anything but just take the time to go there, close the door, and sit down and spend some time in stillness and in quietness. Russell Simmons is the greatest advocate I have ever seen on the subject. Maybe it's because he was able to reach me like no other prophet may have. But he has a book on meditation, and I apologize I don't have it here with me now, but if you look up Russell Simmons, you'll see he has a few books on meditation. And he says, and basically what he is attempting to say is that there is a perfection that sits at the seat of your soul, and only will you be able to reach it in stillness. And so when you close your eyes and you try to quiet your mind and you don't think throughout this process, you don't hear nothing, you don't think nothing, you just listen to the nothingness that's coming at you, that when you get to that point, it's like your mind and your whole spirit starts to unravel. And I've done it on several occasions where when I was going through lots of change and challenging times, I would go into these stillness points, and after about the third or fourth one, it was like new ideas just start to pour into my mind. it's something real supernatural. I can't understand, I can't express it any more than I am now, but take some time, set your alarm clock, your phone on your phone for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, say go, sit in an Indian stance on the floor, on the couch, close your eyes, put your hands on your thighs, and just close your eyes and be quiet. And don't say a word until the alarm clock goes off. Sometimes you're going to have to fight to stay into the quietness because you want to open your eyes, but don't open your eyes. Just stay there and listen. Listen for something speaking to you. That stillness will cause your spirit to just blossom in a way that no other exercise in the world could. The Bible always told us that Jesus would separate himself from the crowd. He would go up into the woods and into the mountains and he would pray to the Lord. You see, that stillness he knew was where you access God's whole potential and his whole being. You almost walk under the wing of God's blessing right there, and he'll instruct you, and he'll give you understanding, and he'll remove your pains, and he'll remove your doubts, and he'll wash you and cleanse you of doubts and fears, and he'll take care of your spirit in the quietness. But without the stillness, you're operating more in the world, and the world is full of relativity. The world is full of things and stuff and nonsense and judgments and doubts and fears and calamities and all kinds of stuff.
Stress.
But in the stillness, there is perfection. So you folks take some time to get into stillness. I won't belabor the point just because we have to move on with the show. But Russell Simmons hit the nail on the head, and I promise you stillness will be a great part of answering all your questions. In fact, all of your answers will be revealed in the stillness. They say it's your infinite potential lies between the thoughts. That means in the quietness of your mind. So get focused there, folks. It's a grand idea, and it'll do a whole lot for you.
I think it really breaks you back to self.
Yes,
it breaks you back to understanding the power that you have that no one else has.
Right.
And to wake up, because I like to say a lot of people are sleepwalking. And to wake up and walk within your purpose,
Right.
instead of walking for someone.
Yes.
So I like that. I really do.
And I'm gonna tell you, you take that exercise, close your eyes, and just start asking questions. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? Where am I going? Who am I? What do you want me to do tomorrow? How can I achieve this goal today? Is there anything stopping me? Can you remove the obstacles? You just start asking questions in the stillness. It's a very, very powerful idea. And so we won't belabor the point. We'll just keep moving on. But on to kind of the next segment here, and man, we're getting a lot covered here in the first segment.
Always.
Barbara has set aside just a few moments for Jay and I to talk about what could be holding us back from achieving our goals and our greatest possibilities. And in most cases, it's just us.
Hello. That's been the biggest problem in my life.
Yeah, let me just say it like this, and everybody who's lived any time in life, you'll know that the greatest hurdle you have had to overcome is yourself. And your sense of self, okay? So, we're going to talk about tonight those other reasons that we might have to, that we might have to defend ourselves or overcome an obstacle, and that is liars and haters.
Oh Lord, I got a lot of them. You see, don't swipe it off my shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
See, I was first talking about we're the problem because it's on the inside,
That's
but
true.
on the outside, there's some other problems. There's some haters and there's some liars. And we have to really pay attention to how to escape or how to defend ourselves against the corruption of liars and haters. I'm going to make a statement that I think is a little out of the box, but yet it is right in line with the Word of God.
Go for it. What you got?
That we do not war against things of the flesh. We war against things in the spirit. And when a hater comes against you, that is a spiritual enemy coming against you. You're going to see its manifestation in the world through a liar and a hater. But it's really a dark spirit that's coming against you in the spirit. And you have to fight in the spirit. You have to fight through your word, and because your word will become the flesh. Your word will become your reality. And so the first thing I think we need to do is just be aware. You got to wake up that there are some people who are on the take.
Oh, yes.
There are some people who are talking about you behind your back, and there are some people who are trying to steal your dreams and just might steal your ideas. There are some people who just don't mean you any good. And it took me a whole lot of years, Jay, to even understand that. For most of my life, I never even believed in the devil, right? I didn't believe that people had dark spirits and that people would lie and steal and hurt and take from you. I never thought that. And
I did.
yeah, well, I learned the hard way,
I know.
but they're real.
So did I.
And they are not, they are here to kill, steal, and destroy.
That is correct.
And when you wake up to that, now you have to put on the armor of God in order to protect yourself.
And I walked through that valley.
Yeah.
And I walked on the outside of that path of righteousness. So I was able to witness it firsthand.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it gives you a warm feeling because you feel like that's what you want. Okay? And it takes you down a path of darkness. And you don't know what's going to happen next. And that's when you start walking through that valley and you understand that staff and you don't have it. So you start recognizing the people that you're with and they ain't with you.
Right.
And that's when you start going through some dark times. And I'm keeping it 100% real.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody ain't there.
Yeah.
So somebody got to relate, and I have no problem telling you.
Yeah.
Walking outside the path can feel good. But just keep checking out who's really with you.
Well, you should understand this. I'm considering each of you who are listening to this program, whether it's 2018
No
or
matter what
2038, that success requires a lonely path.
It can.
And most of the people around you are not going to be able to feel your dreams and understand your goals and understand your purpose and your mission in life. And so you're going to spend much of your life alone. And that's okay, especially when you know the Lord, right?
Because you ain't alone.
You ain't alone. You're never alone, right?
So
I
you're
said
not
it to
alone.
myself this week. Man, I walked in the house and, had a few things that just didn't quite go right. But, I don't judge it because that was just the Lord God guiding me. But I said to myself, you know what, Stacy? It's just you. And then I said to myself, no, it's not just you. You always got the Lord. As long as you got the Lord. And I laid down and went to sleep peacefully and didn't wake up till late the next morning.
But remember,
Right?
the ones that walk offside that path,
Yeah.
they're really alone.
Yeah.
Because then you're dependent on others.
Right.
And then they will lead you astray.
They'll lead you
and
astray.
then you
People-
wondering why I am alone at that point.
Yeah.
Which you really not.
Yeah.
But you feel it
Yeah.
because of what they did and you believe within them.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point to make. You just can't put your hopes and dreams in anyone else's hands. You can't put it in the producer's hands. You can't put it into your parents' hands. You can't put it into anyone else's hands. You have to take full ownership of your success and your life because the people around you will kind of tear you down. And I'm not saying that all of the world is bad, but there are liars and there are haters that surround us, and sometimes they steal our blessing. There was one pastor, I think his name was Pastor Tim, Apostle Tim. He said God has, every time you make a prayer, that God sends you that blessing. He deliberately sends you that blessing. He said, but what happens is the enemy gets between you and God, and he steals your blessings and he holds them up and he puts them in a closet so that you can't get to them, right? And so you got to know how to war against those enemies so that your blessings will come to you and those enemies don't stand in the way between you and God's blessings, right? It takes muscle work, and that's spiritual muscle work, that's prayer work. I'm saying rebuke them if they are around you. If you don't know how to rebuke them, you need to ask somebody about rebuking the enemy, because I'm going to tell you it works. I had some enemy activity about a week ago, and I got so upset in the middle of the day because I could see it happening. I could feel it happening. I got so upset, I got on the computer and I started putting prayer requests in to all my favorite ministries. I put like 5 prayer requests in, like in about 15, 20 minutes, bro. Listen, the next 2 days was absolutely amazingly quiet and productive. It was profound how different those days were. That when those people started praying over my enemy, the enemy had to release himself. and move to another way. People was missing work and taking long lunches and missing in action when the customers walk in the door. Right?
And when you went into action.
When the money walked in the door, they disappeared and it fell right into my lap. That's what the Lord can do, and that's what prayer against your enemies can do. So, so without further ado, it is time for our first break. Man,
Yes,
we
it
covered
is. Yes, it
so
is.
much information in this first segment. I mean, that was an incredible segment, and I'm just glad to be a part of this show, man. I'm glad to be a part of inspiring people's lives, and we got a great show lined up for
Yes,
you
we
tonight.
do.
Tonight, basically, Jay and I are going to walk through a plan on how we need to help you develop a plan for 2018.
He gonna coach me to coach you guys on how to do this. And again, he's my mental strong coach
Right.
that does things in a way that y'all would not believe. That's why he's with me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take this to commercial, and again, Smooth Craftmatic. Besides the mental, the man got a musical side. Yeah,
Yeah.
that DJ Daddy side coming out of him.
I do got
So,
a musical side.
Craftmatic gonna take us to break real quick. And now we got TK on the line. TK, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How is everybody?
How well is well?
Everybody is well over here.
What all you been doing, girl? Well.
Yeah.
He over here smiling. What all y'all been doing? I'm just saying. Y'all start this every week. Y'all be chipper and stuff. I'm just saying.
Starting stuff, that's what you're doing.
Well, I started
I'm
popping.
supposed to brighten the day.
Yes.
So you brighten folks' day now. So you sunshine.
Indeed.
You know, last time I heard about sunshine, she made people not want to go home.
Absolutely.
All righty.
All right, Miss TK, what you got for us tonight? For this day?
Whatever, man. It's cold as heck outside. I want to hear about sunshine. Tell me how I ain't going home.
Right.
Anyway, whatever.
Now that the holidays are over and we've been all these tons and tons of time with family and friends, I'm sick of them already. Should we feel bad about wanting to take a couple of days to sneak off and just to be by yourself, like, away from the kids, away from just to be? Because I don't feel bad, but I was told I should. Because holidays are supposed to bring me up together with family and get you closer with everybody. But I'm sick of them already. I'm sick of looking at them. I'm sick of talking to them. I'm sick of them. Should I feel bad about just wanting to get away, just to relax? No family, no kids, just me and a masseuse.
I would like to say my own thoughts is, you know something, there's nothing always wrong with that because you have to get that place of your own happiness. You do a lot of things for a lot of people during the holidays, and you do it out of love and the compassion of your kids and family. And a lot of times you got to get back to self to make sure you get yourself back to happiness and get back to focus. Because again, you got your own plans, and a lot of times these things take you off. Because you want to make sure you do things for others, and that might not have been all in your plans or what all you want to do for yourself. So selfishly, I would like to say it's not bad.
Yeah.
And I like to say it is healthy to make sure you do some things to pamper yourself. Because that keeps that
I look
happiness
at like a
up.
reset.
Yes,
Yes.
and you need it. That reset is definitely needed, and that's love for self. Okay, you call it reset, so I just call it loving on yourself because it needs it. That is what powers you. So again, taking that little bit of time energizes you.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't think it's real selfish. It's just how you word it. I mean, can you word it a little bit? I'm tired of my family and my own kids. I'm tired of little bad munctions going around here, mama.
Right.
I understand that, but the way you word it, I'm wondering about you, girl. You might need some counseling, a little bit past, a little masseuse. You might lay on somebody's damn couch. Need some help.
Listen, I don't think those words could be piggybacked on at all. That's right on point, Jay. Listen, I think you both right on point. There's nothing wrong. Even though we spend time with lots of loved ones, it is still an experience that's, I'll just call it out of the norm. It's out of your normal movement. And anything that's out of the norm is going to pull a lot of energy out of you. Okay, it takes a lot of energy to put on I won't call it a performance, but to be around a lot of people, you got to always be upbeat. You got to be, listening to stuff you want to listen to, etc. It can be draining. So I think it's a great idea to get away, to be by yourself. We just talked a few moments ago in the last segment about creating a sanctuary, where you can retreat at any time and be yourself. And I think that is very necessary. A dead battery is no good to anyone. And so you have to recharge your battery. You have to push reset. You got to find some getaway time. That is how we take care of ourselves. Even a husband and a wife living together under the same house and got full-time jobs and all of that other stuff, if they're not getting enough time for themselves, they're not going to be whole and complete. And that relationship is not going to be whole and complete. Okay? You can smother one another, and sometimes that's family and sometimes just your own spouse. But yeah, you got to find a time to get away. So I like it. I like the fact that, and in fact, I would say that you should create a ritual. I don't mean ritual as in religion, but an ongoing, create an ongoing opportunity to get away. Right? I plan a half a dozen of them a year. And sometimes it's nothing more than on this particular weekend, all I'm going to do is veg out. I'm going to veg out. I'm probably not going to watch TV. I'll pump myself with 8 or 10 sermons over that couple of days. I'll make sure I'm getting plenty of rest. I'll take a whole new set of vitamins that weekend. But yeah, you got to do it. It's very necessary, and it's how we recharge our battery, and we push the reset button. So I like that, TK.
TK, and I'm gonna go even further back to corporate America. Corporate America give you days off, personal time,
right?
Because they know if they don't, you will burn out. So again, you have to recognize that they recognize that they want to keep good people. So these are the things that they need to do. Because believe me, I don't really feel like they really wanted to. It was just necessary. So it's necessary for us to take advantage of these situations, because there's a lot of times we don't even want to take a vacation. We just want to work all the way through, just make all this money. But you don't understand the damage that you're doing to yourself. You got to give yourself that time. So for you to be, and again, it's just your wording, TK. Most people feel you and they know you need it. But the way you say it, they gonna tell you all day long, girl, you wrong is all get out, because they're personalizing it, not understanding what all you really had to go through. So don't take it too personal, because I tell you all day long, the way you said it, I said it too. I've been like, TK, you my girl, but you about to knock yourself out because you wrong as hell. That's your family. Be nice to them. Do it. But you already did it. So it's not for me to blast you or judge you. It's just for me to say this is your wording, because the bottom line, you did it. You put on that good act. Family, know you was probably putting on that act because you ain't a people person. But anyway, you do you, and you always have. And I want you to continue doing you, because...
Well, that's it. I'm trying to stop planning a weekend. I just need a weekend. It's draining to smile. Martha Stewart is draining. I don't know how that lady does it.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to give you a new thing, 2018. Every other week, show up at my house on Thursday. If you don't do nothing else, you make Craft a happy man. That's all I'm saying. We gonna get you away from your kids and your family. Because I know your family, my crazy is all get out. I said every other girl, by that time it won't be so cold. And you just come on out here. I'm way out here. Come on out.
I was really afraid of what you was about to say right now.
I know, but I changed it up. See, you like that.
I'm not sure.
It's 2018. I changed it to the better. Because my mind was going, woo.
I already know.
Man, my mind is so.
So let me ask you, Ms. TK, we are talking tonight about a plan for 2018 for this year. Share with us some of your plans for the year. What would you like to or hope to accomplish this year?
Crap, do you know what you just did? You about to find out. Woo! You done did it.
I don't know.
I don't make a lot of plans. I kind of roll with it. Career-wise, I want to elevate my career. I am working on self as far as getting myself together. The personal goal is I'm going to get some stuff arranged with myself, working towards that. So next year my arrangements will be in place.
Okay. Okay.
I tried to tell you,
Right.
Crab.
Yeah.
Crab look at me like, it wasn't that bad. She toned it down.
Yeah.
Crab. TK ain't
I
no.
did.
TK ain't no.
I tried to make it
See,
PG.
see,
Okay.
told you. PG
Okay.
that gets crab.
Yeah.
Girl, carry. She be packing, bro.
Yeah.
She ain't normal.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you.
But
She got a little hood in it.
That is normal.
would you want a woman who packed
I
up?
got-
I want me to pack the right thing. That girl pack everything. Eh? She pack assault rifle. Girl pack everything.
Chainsaw?
What? You don't let her go to the trunk. Boy, stop. TK gonna take your ass.
You don't have to let me go to the truck because I don't move
Right.
See what I'm talking about?
See, I like
unless it's a
that.
place.
That's the kind of woman I like.
Yeah, you like that
Yeah, man.
delicious.
Like a woman don't play no. Don't play,
No,
like
don't
a
play
woman
no.
Don't play the radio.
She don't know radio.
Yeah.
She one of them old school. She got two
That's what's
TVs. She got one for the picture, one for the side. Well, she all old.
Yeah.
Can't get no plasma. She get no flat screen. None of that. I'm just telling you.
Listen, Miss TK, we do appreciate you once again, and we're looking forward to some awesome segments from you here in 2018. Any parting words for us tonight?
No, whatsoever. People, please take some time for yourself because I know that family drove you crazy because they drove you as crazy as mine drove me. You enjoy the weekend, but the weekend is being fair.
Okay.
There you
It's called
go.
taking a mental health day.
Okay, I like that. A mental health day. Woo, that's
Just like
powerful.
that.
Right?
And that was a nice way of saying it, TK. So you doing better already, because Lord knows I know you.
Yeah.
She got other things she really wanted to say. I know.
You are so bad, man.
Whatever.
Okay, Miss TK, we will talk to you next week, sweetheart. You take care.
All right, y'all. We
You guys
going.
enjoy the evening.
All right. Well, Bar Talk with Jay, we're going to go to the next back with Bar Talk with Jay. Yes, we on and popping because we got Craft on the songs tonight. Yes.
Yes,
And guess what, y'all? Y'all got a surprise for y'all? Ain't no real surprise. We got Jeffrey on the line. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, what's going on with it?
Man, Jeffrey, I can't call him, man, but you know, we're gonna get to Craft before we can find out about your day, because when your day come bad, everybody else day get better.
Right? What's up, Brother Jeffrey? How you doing, man?
Man, Brother Kraft, I tell you what, man, today was one of those days where everything that could possibly go wrong in the office went wrong in the office, but you know what?
Oh, no.
I was the man with the plan. I made everything happen, and
Okay.
you know what happened.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Man, it is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I'll give you some answers from a man's point of view.
All right.
Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why they might be single. But here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this queue. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in the stilettos and both feet in the Timberlands and walk around in them because you're going to learn something tonight. Now, lady, you are first. Now, ladies, you might be single because you petty. Now, I'm talking petty Crocker. I'm talking petty for the world. I'm talking, seems like you're petty. Petty right. I'm talking, you said you weren't petty, but the results are in, and that's a lie, petty.
Yes.
Now, ladies, I need you to understand in our eyes that petty often equals messy. And petty also equals trifling and irritating. And ultimately, petty leaves your ass single.
Seems like you ready. Had to go back to that
There's
one.
nothing else to say after
Oh,
that. You know what, man? small-minded people are aggravating sometimes.
What?
You know, you gotta love them through and try to hold them up. But boy, they sure can take a lot of energy out of you.
Man. Pastor told me if a person waits 10 minutes of your time,
Yeah.
2 on them, 8 on you. I'm getting my 8 back.
There you go, man.
I gotta let that pettiness go.
That was deep. It's on you, Jeffrey. It's on you, baby.
Okay, now, fellas, now listen. You just talked about the women being petty, so don't think I'm letting you off the hook.
Uh-oh.
Brothers, you want that. Now, fellas, you might be single because, well, you playing. See, you playing, you want the affection, but you don't want to give the attention. You want the respect, but you don't want to put in the work it takes to earn that respect. You want the submission, but you don't want to give the consistency required to earn that submission. You want to be the lead role and leader of the house without the leadership quality. And you want the cookie, but you don't want to eat it.
Oh, Lord.
I need you to understand something though.
Lord.
You play it. You play it.
Ah.
And the women saying, play on, player. They saying, play on, player. We out. We gonna leave you over there playing them games, and we gonna leave your ass safe.
Ouchie, ouchie, woo, woo.
I said, well, but.
Yeah, 'cause you ain't eating them cookies.
But baby.
But mine. But nothing.
You know, I don't feel convicted, man.
Nah,
I don't think
that
I'm
one.
playing. I don't think I'm playing, but I know there's a lot of game players out there.
Well,
You know,
I can't say I
don't
ain't.
feel like one of them, but
I can't say I ain't playing.
yeah.
I ain't playing that one. That one don't fit. You know, that shit don't fit for me.
You playing, man.
But I'm definitely playing. Oh yeah. But
Let the truth be told.
well, true, always gonna be told when it comes to Jay. Jay don't got time to play. I got plenty of time to play, and I also have time to focus.
Okay.
Don't let my play fool you.
Right.
Because my whole alignment in my path is way past my play. So a lot of times they be like, why don't you just commit? I have a problem committing. I commit to my show, I commit to what my dreams are. Can you follow? Can you understand my path, my journey, and get on board where I'm going? Because this train has a location and a destination.
Right.
That I would say stay laser focused where I'm going compared to what you want to play with. Because a lot of times you don't really know what you want, but I already know where I am destined to go.
Okay.
So that right there
So you
puts
want-
me on a different path
Right.
than what most people can be. So my plan is because I don't think people understand me. But my whole thing is to get people to understand me, to be a fan of me.
Right.
Because I am to deliver and to receive.
But you ain't playing.
Man, that ain't, oh, well, sometimes I play a little differently. You know me, Craft. I've been learning to play a little bit there, Craftmatic.
Hey, listen, I'll just make a quick note here.
Go ahead.
And I'm just saying this for women. Women, if you run into a man who you think is playing, you gotta be decisive. You know, even if it's me. If you think I'm playing, be decisive. Push me away. Move towards your destiny. But there's no more time for wasted time.
Thank you.
Right? There's no more time for procrastinating on ideas because the sex is good. And then you wind up 2-3 years later alone, brokenhearted, having
Because
given and
it was-
poured
that's
yourself
all it
into
was.
something that was just playing. Right? So, you know, I'm pretty passionate about trying to protect women, but, you know, I don't know if I can ever change men, right? But hopefully women will start
Hold
to
on,
wake
Brad.
up to the real truth.
You
So,
made change to me, baby.
Yeah.
Don't be like that.
go ahead, Jeffrey. So you
I'm getting better, right? Not really? Barbara over there
Not
laughing.
really.
Not really?
No.
Really? It ain't?
How you doing today, Jeffrey? Can you go with number 3?
Okay, you go with number 3. Barbara just shot me down. I got holes coming out of me, blood. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I need for everybody to understand something. This will correct a lot of things that, miscommunication and things that we happen to fall into. Personal accountability. Personal accountability.
Right.
I hear a lot of women say sometimes that men always cheat. Men ain't cheating by themselves. I hear a lot of times men always say women don't want to do this and women only act this way Well, a lot of times they only act that way because they are responding to what you gave to them. So we have to have some type of personal accountability for our own actions so we get a better understanding of the reactions that we are getting from one another. When we start to analyze what we're doing, then we get a different type of behavior based on our actions. And when we get that different type of behavior, we get improving relationships. Improving relationships is the key. Last thing I saw this thing, this young lady had a comic stand-up routine, and she was talking about women dating men and sometimes looking beyond what they ain't got to what they got. So she said this: I could date a guy who just ain't as attractive as I would like, but he has an at least. He has an at least. He may not be what I want physically, but at least he's working. At least he's doing something for himself. At least he's somebody I can respect.
Right.
And I'm not mad at the sister for saying, hey, I might not get everything I want, but at least there's something else that I can cleave to. So men, what we have to do is be able to provide something for the woman to see value in, so that she's not having to settle, but what she's doing is adjusting what she's getting and what she needs by seeing the value that you bring.
Yes.
All that's about personal accountability. When we do all that, I think we'll start to move in the right direction.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
that's profound.
That's
I like that.
Yeah, that's a drop
Profound.
the mic. No,
Yes.
Number 3 is most certainly drop the mic. And a personal accountability, man, has got to be the key
Yes.
to humanity, right? It's got to be the key to all of life's accomplishments, achievements, success, even failures. And, because what is happening is that the world is responding to us, but we're not paying attention to the responses,
Correct.
right? We did something, or we said something really out of whack. You ain't supposed to say that in this kind of environment, or you wore something a little that's, not really right for the environment, and people are responding to you and you ain't paying attention. They're trying to tell you that you're missing the mark, and you need to start taking personal accountability for that. People who talk too much, man, people been telling you all people been telling you all your life you talk too much, and you still rebuting it and refuting it. You need to understand that maybe you just talk too much.
I mean, it sounds like you talking about me.
It sounds like you taking ownership of something that ain't got
Okay,
nothing
you
to do
right.
with
You right. I'm back to drinking. You right. Next. I'll wear that boot. Okay.
Yeah, and I really like that portion about at least, because that's where we're going to come to with every single person who comes into our life. There's going to be things we don't like. There's going to be things that don't fit. There's going to be things that seem challenging, or maybe try to push you away, but at least they're loyal. But at least they can get the job done. And I might have to stay on top of them. I might not like them a lot, but at least they're helping. At least they're a team player. At least they're willing to put in the little bit that they have. We gotta take people and receive people with a Christ consciousness, that they bring good to the table, whether we can all the time see it or not. When I pass by those men standing on the side of the road with a cup in their hand, I don't immediately judge them. I began having empathy for them, that they could be withering away or robbing somebody's house, but they still out there trying to make a hustle. And you just can't hate a man for his hustle. At least he trying to hustle, right? So there's something good about everybody, and I really like that, man. I'm telling you, the reason that is profound is because that message is not being delivered by leaders across America enough. And I'm just real proud of Jeffrey, and I think there's a greater, much greater platform than here, even though I think we're doing real good. But you got a gift, man. You got to continue to put those messages together, and you got to continue to share them with the world. Somebody's listening, man, and you're motivating and changing and helping somebody's life turn around when they hear those kind of messages. So thank you again, Jeffrey.
All day long. And that's another reason why I picked Jeffrey, because again, he kind of slaps you into reality, okay? It's kind of hard to chew on Jeffrey, because Jeffrey is a hard pill to swallow. But a lot of times, a lot of things that's good for you don't taste good.
Yeah.
It don't go down good.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, this will be an interesting segment. I'd like to hear your statement of who you are. Why do you deliver these types of messages? Where is this coming from? What is the belief system behind what you're trying to deliver to us?
Honestly, somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to say something. Somebody got to stand up for something. So why not? Why not me? That's my whole methodology, my whole thought process right there.
Yeah.
When I started talking about why some women are single, it started out as a joke. I was just having fun, poking fun at women.
Right.
And then it began to grow into something, and I actually saw that people respond to this, sometimes negatively, but most times it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I just found myself doing, and it happened organically, is I just started speaking up more and more and more. I would see somebody post something on Facebook, and I would go in and just rip it to shreds.
Right.
Because they were disparaging, our community or our women or our men.
Yes.
And over time, what I discovered is that people, I won't say started to follow, I'll just say that they listened.
Yes.
So I decided, why stop? Why slow down? Why not go harder for,
Right.
just standing up for us, just being a positive voice for us. We got enough negativity. It's real easy to talk nasty about someone with no redeeming qualities at all.
Right.
That's real easy, and you'll garner followers.
Right.
At the same time, though, if you really want to affect someone and you want to make a positive change in them, say something that's going to lift them up. Give them words of wisdom, even when you are actually counseling them.
Right.
Right. That's really where it comes from.
I like that, man. I love it.
I love it. But I actually had to endure it because I got it early on with Jeffrey when I did the J&J show. And when Jeffrey came on there, he came hard to pay.
Yeah.
And Shay was kind of reluctant about Jeffrey. And I said, you know something? I like him. But she was like, but how he comes and a lot of people can't take him and this and that. I said, let me tell you something about people, Shay. Everybody's not going to accept everything that they hear.
Yeah.
But you have to hear the quality of what they're saying.
Right.
I like his quality. I like what he stands for. And I like what he do.
Right.
She had a problem with me, but he stayed with me.
Yeah.
And he with me now.
Yeah.
So really, you got to understand your team and know people's deliverance.
Yeah.
And he can deliver quite well.
Yeah, and your delivery is really incredible, Jeffrey. And I'm going to ask just another question. I think this conversation is for those who are interested in becoming better leaders.
Give it to
right?
him.
And having greater influence, right? Because here's a gentleman who just decided to speak out. And when people started listening, he took personal responsibility in saying, I need to share this more. But you share it sometimes that, and I don't know, it seems very direct and kind of to the point, and in some people's eyes it even feels harsh. How have you responded? How has your deliverance changed as a result of feedback from the audience?
So, in the beginning, what it was is I didn't regard the impact of the words on the listener.
Mm.
So in the beginning, I was more of we're having a lot of these problems because of the single black woman type of person.
Right.
That's where I was back then.
Right.
And I could go down the list and actually justify that standpoint. But then I went back and I got some information from somebody, and the fact of the matter is, if you are in leadership, if you are that head person, any and everything that happens is your responsibility. Any and everything that happens is your responsibility.
Yes.
So if we as men are responsible for our women, and our women are struggling because we're not there for whatever reason, it is still our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm going to give credit to where it's due. Brother Craft, you and Jay actually asked me to be more balanced in my approach. It had already been on me. But you guys said, hey, let's talk to the men too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just not the women all the time. Let's talk to the men too.
You did.
And there was a whole book of material
Yes.
that I had yet to touch on that had already been simmering below the pot. So all that stuff is divine order. Somebody else had kind of put something on my heart. Then you guys basically challenged me to give the guys some of that talk too. And then that's where we are now. So
Hey, man.
it all happened organic.
And I'm going to tell you, the reason why you came so strong one way, we wanted to make it fair. and it was hard to find a female that can come up against you, just being honest. And your deliverance was so strong, we thought it was only wise to have you fairly go across the field and level it, okay?
Yeah.
Because you killed one half already.
Yeah, that's
Then we had you to do the other half. I mean, you just killing it.
And let me say that in layman's terms.
Okay.
You tore the women's ass up so bad. I said the only reprieve is if you tear our ass up too.
And that's just the holy truth.
And that's the way it went out, man. But listen, everything is about your deliverance. Everything about your message, incredible, man. Any parting words for us tonight, man, as we proceed into 2018?
Man, I'll tell you what, when you really, I met with some people today, and we're talking about a business venture, and the young lady I was meeting with, she was there with her husband, and she kept second-guessing herself. And he and I looked at each other, and we said, you know what? Stop second-guessing yourself. This is a virtual gold mine. All we got to do is execute on it right now.
Right.
So what we were saying to her, and we were saying it to love, don't become your own worst enemy. You can have the best idea in the world and talk yourself out of it. That's enough of that stuff. If you want to use 2018 as the year that you make that change, let's use that. How about that?
There you go.
You can use today. You can use Friday. It don't make a difference. Just stop talking yourself out of your blessing.
Right.
Because the blessing is put right in front of you in your spirit, and you can hear it, you talk about it, and you can visualize it. You just don't execute on
There
it.
you
So
go.
stop making excuses. Start executing. And watch the blessing overflow. It's going to overflow so powerfully. It's going to change everything around you, everybody that knows you, and everything they have to touch you. That's all I got, brother.
That's
Man.
all we need, bruh. That's all we need. And we'll catch you next week, man.
All day long.
All right, folks. This is all right, man. Have a good one. Listen, this is Bar Talk with Jay, and you see, we are just. This show is supernatural, if you ask me.
It sure is.
I've never had so much incredibly inspiring material packed within a couple of hours, and man, we got to get this word out, Jay. We got to get more focused and get the word out. And for those of you who are listening to us now, send this to every one of your friends, your families. If you don't know how to do it, reach out to us at bartalkwithj.com. We are all over the place. And if you search any search engine, you're going to find Bar Talk with Jay, and you're going to see our talk radio show and some of the inspiring messages that we bring to the table, man. We are just delivering with
Big time.
heat. I'm telling you, I'm just loving it. So it's time for us to go to break, and when we come back, Jay and I are going to build a plan for the year 2018.
Yes, he's going to coach me, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna coach Jay through a few ideas, and I don't want to get too specific and all in your business and all in your stuff.
Yeah, don't stop you the other time you ride that bus riding over my behind.
There are 3 major ideas that I want to communicate that we all need to be aware of to develop ourselves to have a fantastic year.
That's what I'm talking
All right,
about.
so y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk.
As always,
Man,
that's what we normally do. Throw out Thursday, man. I can't forget my little small segment of Throw Out Thursday. I know Crab looking at me like, really? We still do Throw Out Thursday? Right. We still doing it, Crab, because it's still on and popping. Now, I ain't throwing the kids out there no more. I'm going to go back to an old show. I don't know if you remember this old show. We talked about feet, men's feet.
Yeah.
And women was talking about men need to take care of their feet better. And Throw Out Thursday, I'm going there to making sure that we actually look at what we're doing and taking care of our feet. I like to say I've done a good job of doing mine.
Yeah.
But again, it can grow out. Them toenails ain't no joke now.
Oh, yes, sir.
And ain't nothing worse than slide them across somebody's leg and baby, you done cut me. And what I noticed is also when you let them grow out, they put holes in front of your socks, okay? And how you really know your heel need to be shaved down when it's shaved out the back of your sock. Now, if you're having these
You
problems,
sound like you done been through some bad feet.
I've been through and understand correction.
Yeah.
Correction can help you with one. If you like dark colored socks,
Right.
it's a dye in them dark socks.
Right.
That don't help your feet.
Right.
Okay, so get more white socks.
Right.
They help.
Okay.
And then ventilation, and make sure you got proper size shoes.
Okay.
Okay, that helps them corns. Okay, them extra toes that's growing out your feet. All right, all that can be avoided, and then lotion them.
Lotion.
You know, and taking care of yourself, because again, you gotta lotion your body, especially in the cold times.
Yeah.
You know, these are the times you gotta use the chapsticks and everything else. My whole thing is, I see things in a way that we take care of others, but we don't always take care of ourselves.
Right.
And to a woman, when you rub your feet across her and you cause her to bleed, she feels you really don't care for her or you.
Right.
So my whole thing is, go ahead, get a pedicure, manicure, every so often, pamper yourself. It's going back to what TK said.
Right.
We need to make sure we take care of ourselves in different ways.
Yes.
I didn't always do that either.
Right.
And I liked it. When I went, man, she went to playing on my feet, crying,
Yeah.
and rubbing my legs. I'm to tell you right now, we almost had relations up in there. I'm just saying.
Like that, huh?
Yes, the feet, your hands, your body is a part of you and a reflection of your love for yourself. And I like to say, sometimes we neglect or neglect because of the fact of all the things that we go through. You feel like yourself is last. No, yourself always have to be first because they see you when you're talking.
Right.
And if you don't present yourself as being fresh and ready, they're not going to really hear everything that you got to say.
Right.
So, 2008, I want to make sure Throwout Thursday is about throwing out bad behavior, about not taking care of feet and yourself. Hygiene is very important. Your feet, taking care of your body is always necessary.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you take abuse to your feet by not doing this.
Right.
But guess what? That's what carries you. And I like to tell you, anything that carries you, you need to take care of.
Yeah.
That's your total package that keeps the weight of your body up. Is your feet. Take care of. Because that walk without them is very difficult,
Yeah.
if not almost impossible.
Yeah.
And I like to say, shaving them down, and when I say shave, just clean off the extra skin
Okay.
and your toenails down. And a lot of people be like, well, who cares? You should. That's just a personal reflection on you. And I know a lot of people don't take their shoes off. Don't get me wrong, when you do have to take them off, and them holes in the front of your sock, let me know you ain't never shaved them front of your feet.
Right.
Them nails ain't no joke, because I know mine cut through socks like nothing.
Yeah.
And the heel, now the heel, I ain't gonna lie, the heel wasn't always from the clean, I ain't gonna lie. The shoes not, right size,
Yeah.
you just rub the back of the sock.
Yeah.
That happens as well. But bottom line, wear shoes that's appropriate for your feet, same size, because again, it can cause corns on your feet, cause wear on your feet that is not necessary, because sometimes you don't have the proper size, you gotta wear with it. These things play on you, and I really want to make awareness to just the feet, because the Throwout Thursday is to better recognize the love for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I like to say, I didn't always do that.
Yeah, and
but
listen,
I'm getting better.
listen, I think men are most men are victims of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And what happens is they end up suffering later on in life because the feet start hurting.
Mhm.
The feet just won't, they won't heal up right, or bones move around and toes move around because you were wearing the wrong shoes, or because you weren't taking care of yourself, and because you had that pain in your foot and you didn't get it checked out 20 years ago, and now it done crept up on you, and it has become, a major issue. So, and I know in my world, sometimes to just take an extra couple of minutes and lotion my feet, and it's a task for me sometimes, because I'm always on a mission. I get out of the shower and I'm like, they clean, they dry, they healthy, they look good.
Look good.
But I need to take care of them so that they'll look even better and feel even better on tomorrow. So, we're men, we're all victim of that, and there are a few women who are victims of that as well. But, healthy feet will get you from A to B.
Come on now.
Right?
That is your moving point, man.
Yes, sir. And A to B is really what we want to talk about tonight in starting the dialogue about, really coaching a plan for 2018. Last time we talked out with the old and in with the new, and we had a lot of great ideas about, how to start your year fresh and new. But your year is subject to your vision. And that's a very profound thing, that your year will manifest, the result of your year will be an equal and equivalent action to how clear you are about what you want. That's the way life works, folks. That if you got something in your mind and in your heart and you have a burning desire for it, the thing that you want can't escape you. In fact, it's looking for you, right? And through hard work and determination and preparation and all that other good stuff, it'll find you, right? They say success is when opportunity meets luck, right? So you're prepared when preparation meets luck or something like that. In other words, you got to be ready. You got to know where you're going. You got to be able to say yes and no to the things that are coming at you in life. So I'm gonna ask you just open-ended question, Jay. Tell me some of your goals for the year. What are you trying to achieve for 2018?
2018 is going to be a year that I knock this out the box. One of the things that I got to admit, I did not see my full potential early on in life. I probably did the same thing everybody do. I worked my 9 to 5, and I believed in the American way. Your family, you take care of your house, buy a house, home, cars, financial debts, all that, okay? But I wasn't happy. Okay, I even started my own business and I still wasn't happy. Yeah. Because when I started in a different way, I didn't start in the way that was written.
That's okay.
I did it my way, the best way I knew.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was very successful. It grew for a while.
That's just A. That's just where you are.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
You had to. You had to grow.
A, right. Okay.
So once I grew and I got there, I started learning that I wasn't paying attention to all my lessons that was going on. Now that I'm starting to see that my lessons are manifesting, because what's for you is for you, and that's what I'm realizing. So it's time to change.
So watch this. You say, I say, Jay, what is your goal? And you say, this year I'm gonna knock it out the box. What does that mean?
Now, knock it out the box is actually taking the real goal, which is my radio show, Bar Talk with Jay, to the next level of getting everybody to see it.
Okay, and what is
and that's
next
called
level?
When I say next level, is right now on YouTube I'm at about 1,000 views.
Okay.
It's up to 10,000 by half this year, up to 100,000 by the end of this year. This goal is achievable. Why? Because I set it and I already know what I'm able to do so far.
Okay.
Now, laser focus is getting it there, but achieving it by the people that you're dealing with.
100,000
100,000
by year end.
By year end.
I like that, Jay. And what makes that so, I guess, relevant? Obviously, it's personal to you. It's personal to all of us. It means everything. Because we get to 100,000 viewers, we're gonna find some revenue streams, and this thing's gonna be off and popping for many years to come. We could be the David Letterman of talk radio, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to serve the world like that.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're already doing it, baby.
Yeah. So Jay says knock it out of the box, and he wants the radio show to have 100,000 viewers by year end. That is an example of what a real goal is. Now that goal says that, hey, I need to be increasing my number of viewers every single month, right? I need to have, by March, I need to be up to around 3,000, and by April or May, I need to be up around 5,000-6,000, and by October, I need to be around 7,000-8,000, and in order to hit my 80,000, and then by year end, I need to be at 100,000. What happens with that is that goal is what we call a SMART goal. Okay, we've identified A. Here is where we are.
Correct.
And we have identified B. Here is where we're going. Now here's the point, and I've said this many times on many shows. If you never identify B, it is impossible to achieve B. It will not happen. There is a million other options and opportunities for you to achieve something else. But when you claim that B is your goal, you set the direction for everything else in your life. You set the direction for how much time you're going to spend, how many people you need to involve, how much money and resources you need to put in. It really sets the framework for what kind of ideas you need to entertain. If you only had a goal to be at 10,000 by the end of the year, do you think that those action steps would be the same as the action steps to be at 100,000 by the end of the year?
Here's some new things you can do.
They'll be
You're going to send text.
They'll be very.
Or even find a business nearby. And as always.
I'm not sure where that's coming from, but they teaching a lesson over there. We like the lesson that they're teaching. So in other words, I got a little off here, but the point of the matter is that is what we call a SMART goal. A SMART goal, it is specific, it is measurable, which
Right.
means it's meaningful and motivating.
Right.
It's achievable,
Mhm.
okay? We all agree on it. Everybody, all your team says, hey, yeah, we can do that. It's time bound, so we
Right.
know exactly the timetable. And of course, all of those together, being a SMART goal, means you have set the stage. That's 50% of it, if you ask me, to be well aware of what you want to achieve. As soon as you are aware of what you want to achieve, then the action steps to achieve them are much easier to accomplish. What would some of those action steps be, Jay?
Now, for me, just looking at what I did to get to this point,
Okay.
you have to reinvent yourself.
There you go. There you
Them
go.
steps, just reproduce, will just get you the same.
Right.
All right, so that's just 2,000.
Okay.
I said 10. So you also got to be out the box. You have to be willing to look at things other than what you can see. And that's believing in the people that you have around you.
Right.
And believing in them and making them come to the table as well.
Right.
Because if I did one thing, several can do a whole lot more. Somebody told me you take your hand, you make a fist, it becomes mighty. So that means don't look at things as one. Look at things as a whole.
Right.
Bring your people together with the same vision, even though they have their own,
Right.
to achieve everyone's.
Mhm.
Now, if you're really able to do this, you can actually move a mountain. Because the perception of a mountain, if you get a lot of people to move,
Mhm.
the scenery moves. Because the mountain
Yeah.
moves because of the people.
There you go.
You gotta learn how to motivate and move people, and then things fall for you.
But-
What I notice, it's all myself, right? I can do it all myself. And I like to say sometimes we get so selfish, we out there by self, when it wasn't meant to be that way.
Right.
And that's not what I want.
There you go. There you go. The point of this whole exercise, at least this portion of the segment, is to understand that, folks, you have to identify goals. Your employer does it every single month. You got a goal to hit every single month, and you need an equivalent goal in your personal life to accomplish every single month. I'm putting everybody on alert that you must have a goal set in stone, written, and put underneath your pillow before the first of every month. And so we're already off in January. You should already have your number one goal written down and put underneath your pillow. Read it every night, sleep on it. When you forget where you're going, look under your pillow, and that's exactly where you're going. It's a reminder of not only who you are, but it's a reminder of what you are set out to achieve on a daily basis. And so I'm just encouraging everybody to get focused on goal setting. Goal setting is the key. If I could change any person's life, it would first start by asking them where do they want to go. What is the destination? And once you identify the destination, identifying the action steps come much, much easier and are easier to get there. And so tonight, again, we're just kind of talking through what a solid plan looks like for the year. If you haven't set your goals, you're already behind. I would probably say you're 2 to 3 months behind already if you have not already set your goals. But you can catch up easily by sitting down with a clean sheet of paper and writing down the 5 or 6 things that you want to accomplish for this year. How much money you want to make, how many trips you want to take, how are you going to care for your family members, how you're going to celebrate the holidays. Plan how you're going to take better care of yourself. Plan how you're going to fix up your home. Plan how you're going to get a new car. Plan what outfit you're going to wear to Easter Sunday. You got lots of things that you can plan. Plan the people and the relationships you want to nurture. Plan the restaurants you want to eat out at. Plan the activities that you want your family to do. Plan the conversations that you need to have with your mom or your brother or your child or your coworker. You need to be thinking about what actions are going to be necessary for you to be better off next year than you are this year. Let's get laser focused, folks.
All right.
We're talking about from A to B, and we have just set a SMART goal. When we get back, we're going to talk more about how to put those goals.
Bar Talk with Jay. Smooth Craftmatic in the building doing his thing, DJing and also teaching you guys how to keep laser focused to your goals of this new year. It's not just the new year. I'm just saying that's a small segment of time. We are trying to give you purpose for life.
Right.
Okay? To get you back on path for what's in you to make sure it come out of you.
Right.
And that's a step and a process. And again, what we're doing is learning these steps to mentally get you where you need to be. Because a lot of times you talk about the physical, it starts with the mental.
Right.
And that's why we got Smooth Craftmatic. And again, I'm the guinea pig tonight, okay?
Right.
Because I have a vision for my show and where I want to go. And again, after the show, we're going to go knee deep into what I want this to go. And so again, this is just practice. So take Bar Talk with Jay off the table and put you on the table.
Right.
And when Jeffrey said, come with something, this is something. You gotta have value to whatever you're bringing, all right?
Right.
And a lot of times, women finesse men to greatness, but you gotta have something. And I'm just waking men up because we have something in each and every one of us. If you open your eyes and wake up to your passion and your purpose, you can sit at a table with a person and wow them.
Right.
Doubt will keep you from doing it.
There you go.
And I like to say, people will doubt you, but go back to the most brilliant person that you can ever think about, the most profound person.
Yeah.
Half of them was labeled crazy.
Half of them was labeled crazy.
Okay?
And all
Because somebody else
geniuses-
judged
yeah,
them.
all geniuses are crazy.
Right.
A little bit.
They judged them
Right.
before they really knew them. So consider yourself crazy. But be crazy passionate about what you're really trying to do.
Right.
And put it to work.
There you go.
Do not look for the lottery. Do not. That's fine to dream, but let's wake up and let's do our walk. Because I like to say, people dream of, and that's all they ever do. And their dreams never come true.
That's exactly right, Jay.
So
And
let's
that-
wake up.
And that's where this segment, this portion of the show, is really about getting yourself off the mark. Okay. Last segment we talked about A to B. We talked about knowing where you are and where you want to go. And if you never identify B, you can never achieve B.
Mhm.
B is going to be things like I want to lose so much weight, or I want to gain so much weight. Maybe it's I need to get a certain number of education. I need to get my master's degree. I need to get my bachelor's degree. Maybe it's I need to start a business this year and make $1,000 a month. Maybe it's I need to read so many books a month in order to learn about X. Maybe it could be watch so many YouTube videos on cryptocurrencies. Whatever that is, that we need to not only identify it, but once we identify the goal, and the most difficult part is staying focused on the goal, right? The most difficult part of attempting to achieve a goal is really staying focused. That's where people lose the mark. That's why Ms. TK on last week, she talked about the New Year's resolution is kind of mundane because in a very short period of time she ain't gonna follow through and it's not gonna happen. And the reason she didn't follow through is because she could not activate, I'll just say the word activate, the right daily behaviors. You see, the achievement of a goal is about a behavior. Think about this. If I'm going to build a building, I'm going to need to dig a hole. Okay? And in order to dig that hole, I'm going to need that hole finished in 30 days. Okay? And so now I have determined that I need 165 buckets of dirt out of that hole every single day in order to hit the goal and have it ready for the cement and the steel and all that other stuff that's coming in, right? So every single day I have to dig out 165 buckets of dirt. That becomes my daily action plan, my daily behaviors toward achieving my goal. My goal is to dig out the hole. In order to dig out the hole and have it ready for the concrete, I got to dig 165 buckets a day. That's a behavior. For example, and these are simple examples, so what I'm talking about now here is how to keep yourself laser focused. Daily behaviors and routine behaviors are what helps you overcome any obstacles of procrastination and all that other stuff. Okay? It's about, if I want to, maybe I want to increase my health. One of the daily behaviors I'm going to do to increase my health is drink 8 glasses of water. That's pretty simple. I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Maybe I need to take my vitamin every day. Maybe I need to run or walk or work out 3 times per week. You see, with these little bitty behaviors, we don't have to see the big goal. All we have to do is know that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I need to be in the gym. And those behaviors are what is going to keep me laser focused on my goal because I accomplish the little things every single day. If I want to, maybe I want to do 50 push-ups a day. Maybe I want to write in my journal every day. If you're a musician or an artist, you need to be writing music every single day. You don't need to be lounging on your laurels. If you run a business like Bar Talk with Jay, Jay needs to be recruiting talent for the show every single day. And he might decide that, hey, I'm going to meet 5 new people every week in order to make my business go to the next level, right? Maybe I need to put out 30 messages a month in order to achieve 100,000 viewers per year, right? So there's all kinds of action steps that we need to be taking on a daily basis. And here's what happens. And we've talked about this before. You remember areas we live, Jay, where you got the red zone and the green zone?
I remember.
Yeah. What keeps us from being laser focused is that we're reactive to life. Life is managing us rather than us managing life. And so we don't want to be reactive to life. We want to get ahead of the curve. Get those things. Don't let procrastination run up on you. You knew you had that project to do 6 months ago. Why you wait till the last week?
That's typical.
Stop doing that.
Sometimes I work better under pressure.
Yeah,
that's a lie I tell myself.
That's a lie we all tell ourselves. So we're being reactive to life. The next area is where we're off focus. So we know we need to be working on that very important project, but yet and still, we go watch TV. We go to the mall. We go hang out. We go do all the things except for the thing that we really need to be doing. We're off focus, right? I call that busy work. We'll do busy work rather than doing the most important work. Let's stop being off focus. And then there's deception. This is where we're deceiving ourselves, right? These are things like the fear and the doubt and the worrying and complaining. Just using negative energy to just stay afloat, rather than taking all of that energy and focusing it on my A to B, right? Where I can be proactive and intentional. The daily behaviors are what drives every successful person. You have to be, if you're going to be a successful salesperson, you have to make 20 calls a day. That's just the way it is, period. If you're going to have a clean house, you have to decide that every Saturday morning from 8 to 10, I'm cleaning house. That's the only way your house is going to stay clean, right? And so I'm encouraging everyone to start identifying those behaviors. You want whiter teeth? Brush your teeth twice a day instead of once a day. Brush it 3 times a day, right? You want healthier feet? Change your socks twice a day, right? You want you want to be a cleaner cut person? You're going to have to pay the beautician to be on your head a little more extra each month, right? You're going to have to set aside some money. If you want to save money, be an average saver. I'm going to save $10 a week. Put $10 in a box somewhere in your closet. Do it every single week, and be relentless and religious about that activity, whatever it is. But if you're not setting up a daily routine, you'll have a tendency to forget the goal, and all of a sudden, all the time that you could have used to achieve that goal, it slipped away because you weren't exemplifying good daily, positive, effective behaviors on your goal. It makes all the difference. A runner and a sprinter must run so much a day. He must run 4 miles every single day. The football player, he must lift weights, he must watch film, he must go through the process of practice and footwork. These are the techniques for great achievement. And if you're not practicing daily behaviors, you're missing the mark. Jay, every single day, Jay wakes up in the morning, and who knows how long he spends on it, but somewhere between 10 minutes and an hour, he spends looking at positive messages to send out to the world. That is his daily behavior. That's a part of his passion and part of his purpose, to send out good messages to the world. That's what you have to do with anything, right? So I won't belabor the point. What'd you say to that, Jay?
I would tell you all day long, it starts with you. So on the start of the show, it's a reflection of yourself. And the quote is something that I needed in my own therapy. Because again, wake up positive, to be positive, it starts with you.
Every morning.
So every morning, I could have easily, and I promise you, easily go into my phone and schedule this. Okay?
Yes.
And I can do it one day. I can do 5 days. And it'll automatically go out. I have to wake up every day and do it.
Absolutely.
Why? Because if I schedule it, I will wake up and I'll do the same thing I always do. And I won't stay mindful of the change that I want to do.
Right.
I want to be more positive, not wake up with the world, okay? Wake up trying to change the world by my vision, by what I see, different than what I hear.
Absolutely.
So that positive quote is how I start my day, and I hope it might start somebody else. But the bottom line is, it starts with me.
It's a routine.
So by it starts with me,
Yeah.
it's just out of love, and it's not like a job.
Right.
I wake up knowing I want something different.
Right.
And when you can empower somebody else to enjoy you for doing you, you will keep on doing it for the enjoyment of you. That's when you know you're in passion and purpose.
Yeah.
But when you got to do it just for the sake of a job, you will probably regret and not love it as much.
Yeah.
And it's not to put down the job at all,
Right.
but you have something else. And my whole thing is waking up and finding out what it is. Because when you get it, I don't lack on my job. I give my job a full 100.
Right.
My whole thing is my job is not my life.
Right.
My life is mine. And that's what I want to empower people to realize. Wake up, because now my job is a vessel to get back to my path. And I make everybody laugh and enjoy themselves. Because I don't feel like I have to be off track.
Right.
I off track myself because I doubted. I didn't know. But now I got somebody that can help give me things that I can visualize and I can write down and I can see. That's why I told you, 2018 ain't gonna be no joke.
Yeah,
man.
all of that is a game changer, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to share in this message, is that you know, whether passion or not, you gotta find a way to lead yourself. Right? There's a lack of leadership going on in the world, so we gotta take ownership of leading ourselves. And when you sit down and you write your goals for the month, when you sit down and write your plan for the day, you know, that's taking ownership of your life, man. That's taking ownership of your day. And I promise you, you'll accomplish a lot more that way on each and every day. It is routine behaviors, folks. Get focused on what every single day doing something toward your goal. Make it an intention, make it a habit, make it a practice, make it a ritual. Those are the things that keep you laser focused. All great people do it.
I would like to also say, quit doubting. You know, that's the number one killer. Is when you even write it out and you don't believe it. You have to write out something that you actually truly believe. There's nothing going to come to you that you don't ask for. It's one of the things that Craftmatic says, you know, you got to pray up, you got to reach up, and you got to get it. That means you got to put in work. So the bottom line is just to sit here and hope without work is probably not going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen. Without the daily behaviors, it's not going to happen.
And I like to say is going back to looking at self and behavior.
Yeah, personal accountability.
And why would they? Is when you're not where you need to be. And that's when we said it before, separating yourself. Part of separating yourself is looking at what's going on around you. When it's not going your way, you have to separate and make change to what your surroundings are. You can control a lot. Stress overwhelms you when you feel like you can't control. You have full control, but you gotta isolate. And then you gotta come up with your own personal plan. My problem is, you go with the flow so much, you don't understand what you're really doing. And that's why we're here.
Well, yeah.
Because I've been there too.
Yeah, you know, it comes down to what we talked about early in the show. You got to get away from the world.
Yes.
You got to create space. You got to create separation, and then you'll have time to think clearly about what you want and what those daily behaviors are. This is the key to life, and I don't know any other way to say it. I don't know that I feel like I've done it as much justice as it really needs. The first thing the doctor does every night is he cleans his equipment and he cleans his tools and he makes sure he's prepared for tomorrow. That's what he does.
Now, since you said that, I got a small joke. I'm still looking for that doctor to slap my ass when I was born. I'm just saying, crap. They ain't had to hit me. You know what I'm saying?
He had to hit you.
He ain't had to hit me like hard.
If he hit you
I'm still looking for him.
I think you would be a lot more boisterous than you are.
Tell you what, man, ain't nobody else gonna hit me like that.
Yeah.
I just had that moment.
Yeah, I just want you folks to feel the magic. This is about getting laser focused, and this is Bar Talk with Jay. We're going to take another break. I think our final break for the night, and then we'll close this show out. The next segment, we're going to talk about what sustains us all to stay laser focused, and it's really mental health. One subject that we don't spend enough time on. So we've talked about identifying the goal. We've talked about identifying the meaningful behaviors toward the goal. Now let's talk about mental health and mental stimulation. How to keep yourself mentally focused toward your goal and toward your efforts. So you folks stay with us. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Crap, I think I was crying before he hit me. We back with Bar Talk with Jay and the smooth sounds of Craftmatic. Yes, sir. He does it every time. Now, we started this talking about reflections of what your goals are. And I like to say right now, let's shake our heads and understand. If you're not where you want to be, it starts mental. And that's why I have craft even help me. You know, a lot of times I think about a lot of things. And one of the things that he always done for me is he told me, sit down and write it down.
Yes.
Okay? And a lot of times we have so much going on, we make every excuse in the world. And I'm one of them. And then I got to a point where I started recognizing my downfalls by not doing great tips that people present to you. Because you be like, I ain't got time. Well, believe me, you make time for everything else. But when you start making time for the right things and you stay focused on them, you start finding out some of the things that you was making time for was killing time for no good reason.
Right.
We chase flesh, and we don't understand true divine leadership. When you get true divine leadership and you find in that spiritualness, you find less time for the other.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is not to say pleasure is not good. I'm just saying my vision is bigger. When you get a bigger vision, you have a bigger purpose, and all of a sudden, guess what? My time shifts.
There you go.
And then you get better relationships. And now I'm finding myself helping, not hindering.
Right. See, the key, Jay, is to become awake.
I had to wake up first.
Right.
And I was a good sleepwalker.
Yeah, and listen,
Today.
there are a lot of people sleepwalking, right? And let me just give a few tips. I just want to make this as meaningful as possible to the listeners and our audience, that it's important to empty your mind. See, we all have about 800 to 900 words per minute flowing through our mind. Yet we only speak at about 220 words per minute. That means I got 600 to 700 more words per minute flowing through my mind than I can capture and speak on. A lot of haze going on there, right? So what I got to do is I got to find a way to empty my mind so that it's always fresh and alive and new and awake. And one of the exercises I recommend is everybody should have a notepad, a tablet, right? A spiral-bound tablet. Because in a spiral-bound tablet, you can continue to go from page to page to page, and all of it will stay together, right? You don't want to keep putting stuff on different sheets of paper and don't have it all together. So your spiral-bound will becomes the one place that you're going to put all of your ideas. And here's what I'm asking everyone to do. Every single time an idea comes to your mind about something you want, something you need, something you're going to do, something you want to have, I want you to write it down. No more storing ideas in your mind. Take it out of your mind and put it on the paper in black and white in that journal. And what's gonna happen over time is you're gonna start to have a security blanket. Every time new stuff will start popping into your mind, because you don't have to store it anymore, you can take it out of your mind, put it on the paper, and guess what? It's going to be the same then, and it's going to be the same next year, and it's going to be the same next month as it is right now. You don't have to change what you want because you can't remember it, or because you don't properly store it. So you have to find a way to empty your mind. And this is one of the practices that I do. Every single time I have a brainstorm idea about something, I immediately grab my pad and I start writing it down, right? And Jay, you're one of those people that you got a lot of stuff going on. You got a lot of people to influence. You got a lot of ideas coming at you. I'm telling you right now, I need to see you with that tablet.
Okay.
I want you to write it down, because people, most of you can't see what happens when you work and you operate under the direction of somebody who's trying to go somewhere. That their mind is always full of new ideas. They'll have a conversation with you on 10 things that might be going on in their life or their business. And if your mind gets too packed with all that stuff, it can create a headache, it can create stress, because now you're trying to figure it all out. Take it out of your mind, put it on paper, and then when you put it on paper, you can share it with other people and get an interpretation and get an understanding.
Makes sense.
Right? That's a very important exercise, and all the greats have it. All the great musicians, all the great scientists, all the great people who do hair and cosmetics, they all have those notes. They all have those special things that they've written down to capture, so that they don't have to no longer remember it. It's in their vault already. That's a major idea for mental health, because you can get stifled. Sometimes there's so much new information coming at you, you get stifled on which direction. You can't make decisions. Before I go too far, let me just impart this idea, and I think this is the most important idea about mental health. And we don't tend to be a religious show here, but I'm telling you, you have to have a relationship with the Lord. There's just no other way to stay mentally clear. It's too many haters, there's too many liars, there's too many enemies, there's too many opportunities, there's too many directions. It's too much information for you to process on your own. But there is a power and a God that is much greater than us, that knows exactly what is for us, that knows exactly what is not for us, and he can protect us and protect our mind so that we can stay strong in the battle for life. And so I'm encouraging you all to stay prayerful this year. Prayer is the end all be all. That which you pray and meditate upon will come to life. And if you spend more loving time with the Lord, I promise you the rest of your life will be much easier. It'll be much smoother. More resources will be there. You'll feel more joy. You'll feel more peace. It is the answer for it all. But until you get there, for those of you who are not already there, we need to find ways to train our mind. Things like affirmations. I am successful. I am successful. I am successful. I am successful. The only thing that's waiting to happen when you say I am successful 1,000 times is you're just waiting on your subconscious mind to just accept it, to just receive it. And once your subconscious mind says, okay, you're successful, it's like the God power within you will start organizing your life, will start organizing your affairs, will start magnetically attracting the right people, the right resources, the right timing, the right understanding. Everything will happen once you plant that idea in your mind. That idea will become your reality, that you will be successful, but you're not going to be successful until you think it, until you believe it, until you know it, until you speak it, until you are mentally saturated with the idea of success. That's the only way. If you meet any very successful person, any successful person, they are saturated with their field of human endeavor. They can't even think about what to eat and life and about vacations and trips. All they can think about is that song they make. All they can think about is that test they need to do to heal that cancer or that sickness, or to become a better, maybe a better teacher or a better principal. Whatever that happens to be, they are sick with it. Their mind is so saturated with being successful on that's what we need. We need to be just completely consumed by our goals and our visions, and our mind has to always be entertaining the right direction for us. Otherwise, we fall into slumber and we fall into laziness, and that produces poverty. That produces a poverty consciousness. Mental health is the key to all success. And I'm encouraging everybody, not only do your affirmations and visualizations, praying daily, writing your goals daily, reading something daily. You know, the average American reads less than one book per year.
Yep, heard that.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's
right?
really crazy.
That means people aren't taking in new information. How are you going to grow without new information? How are you going to grow without new ideas? How are you going to grow without knowing how the last person who did what you're trying to do did it? You need to be reading the biographies and their stories and these articles. There's lots of information, but folks, you got to get fired up about getting the information.
Say it again,
right?
Brad.
I don't want to preach on the subject.
What you mean? You've been doing a great job so far.
I don't. You know, I sometimes feel like I'm preaching. And in fact, remember the man at the wing spot we went to?
Uh-huh.
He said, "You kind of sound like you preaching." You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
and I tell him all day long, you are. But the whole thing is, anybody preaching?
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm preaching motivation.
There you go.
Motivating yourself. Because right now, folks, whether you know it, you are alone. And you got to pick yourself up. You got to jumpstart yourself. You got to, just like starting a lawnmower, you got to grab that handle and you got to pull that handle until it starts that engine. And if you don't do that, your engine will never start. And you'll never go anywhere. You'll never cut any grass. You'll never make anybody happy. You'll never serve the Lord in the best way. You'll never be your greatest possibility until you know how to jumpstart yourself. And you have to do it every single night and every single morning. This is not something sporadically and randomly that you do. This is how you keep yourself afloat in life. You have to go, sometimes you got to go up for air. Even though we live in a world full of oxygen, sometimes you got to go up for fresh air. And that just means, you know, the motivation, the meditations and spending quiet time. That means talking to yourself. By the way, it is okay to talk to yourself. Just don't let nobody see you doing it. Right?
Well, don't be answering yourself back.
No, I feel like if I don't answer my own question, ain't nobody else gonna be able to answer my question.
I mean, you can so, in your head, just say it,
so,
but don't be talking all the answers
talking
back.
to yourself is okay. And I'm a firm believer in that. Sometimes I talk to other people and they don't know it. My customers walk in, I'm saying, hey, you came to buy a car today. I'm saying this in my mind. You came to buy a car today. I know you got lots of money to spend. Come on over here. You're going to like everything I show you, and you're going to say yes to it.
Yeah,
right?
right.
I'm mentally influencing my customers.
You gonna laugh.
Yes, sir.
Remember I told you what I did? When I walked into the store, I said, you gonna give me something today.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
can speak words of
There you go.
encouragement to
There
a
you
person, and it can be a joking manner.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, you have to take control of your own life. And again, we're doing big things, and y'all see less buffering on Facebook come next week. I had to call Comcast. I had to upstream. All right. But when I called him, I let him know he's gonna be my friend, and he didn't know what I was talking about. But by the end of that conversation, he did more for me than I think he would have without me having a great attitude. You have to understand the words that come out your mouth can be controlled and also influenced.
Oh, absolutely.
Please influence and not just pessimistic, being past tense. Let's be more future. Be better than what you ever was before. Because God gave you more life. Make something of it.
Yeah, and all of that requires a decision on your part. And, you know, let's close this show out with something like this. That there is a crossroad happening for each of us. The crossroad is success or failure. And you don't really have a choice in the matter. You need to decide right now, am I going to be successful? Or am I going to just let life wither away under my feet? Am I going to waste another 365 days? Am I going to let October, November hit me and I still haven't done what I said I was going to do? It's time to check up, and you got to check yourself. That's what it's about. It's about checking yourself every single day. I wake up some days and I don't feel real well. But no matter how I feel, I tell myself that it's going to be a great day. And I'm going to make something big happen today. And I'm not going to let how I feel hinder what I achieve. I'm going to accomplish more today because I feel like the enemy is trying to be against me. And I just continue to say the dialogue and continue to talk to myself. I got to overcome it mentally, folks. And so make the decision to be successful today. Make it tomorrow. Make the same decision over and over. And ultimately, you're going to find that it's easier for you to just accept and receive success. That's really what this is all about. See, perfection is waiting for you to accept it and invite it into your life. But until you get crystal clear about it, then you're not ready to swallow that pill. Because it'll make you sick if you're not ready for it.
I told you it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, life is definitely a hard pill to swallow. Folks, we probably won't talk about this particular subject much more this year. We may do a couple of refreshers. But this has been our opportunity to inspire you. To get on board and to get focused on doing what you know you are here to do. That could be get your education. That could be, have a better relationship with your spouse. That could be build a home, buy a car, take a trip, become an inventor, be the best parent in the world, be the best teacher in the world, whatever that is for you. We all have that thing. Whatever it is, it's time to get a burning desire for it. And once you get a burning desire for it, hand it over to the Lord. And I'll promise you, you're going to see magnificent results. I'm only telling you the story that I've lived, folks. And I live a pretty fantastic life. I don't have no more problems. I don't have no more debts. I don't have no more challenges. I live a perfect life. I live what I consider to be a wonderful, wonderful life. I don't have troubles and naysayers and problems. The reason why is because I've already made up my mind what I want. And I've already given it to the Lord. And He just blesses me with it every single day. That's what you got to get to.
Now, you wonder why I have Him with me. Is because that's what I need in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not there, and I'm learning to get there. So it's all about a learning task. So a lot of times y'all look at our show and you be like, okay, I heard a lot. Now that you heard, watch. Because I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. If you don't make that decision, watch where we be by the end of this year.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there on the line that I see it, I'm going to achieve it, and I'm going to do it. Now, when the end of this year happened, I want to, did you ever invest in me? Did you see me? Because I'm not seeing you. Bar Talk with Jay.
Bar Talk with Jay.